Hello there. Firstly, Merry Christmas. Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fatter. Indeed it is. And just before I start this first review, I want to say that I went to see The Last Jedi again for the second time yesterday, and I feel a lot better about it, I tell you, because when I left the cinema a week ago, I was very mixed on the whole thing. I was firstly very thrown by the humour at the very beginning, which really threw me, because I wasn't expecting it, you see, and it sort of disrupted my enjoyment of the beginning of the film. But then I really did enjoy the entertainment of the film, and certainly the character development of the likes of Kylo Ren. I tell you what, I went to see it again yesterday, and I was in a fuller cinema, more audience, and the reactions were, it was better just to enjoy that first bit of humour with hooks and stuff, which made a lot more sense because I was expecting it, and the audience, the crowd that was there were laughing, not just at that beginning bit, but the other bits. That also I laughed to myself in the cinema at the very end with Hooks when he said, "Do you think you've got him?" Well, I can't remember what he said now. I think you've got him or something sarcastically to Ren, Hooks, and yeah, it was just good, so much better. So I'm pleased about that because I was a bit unsettled, should we say, a disturbance in the force. So that's why a lot of people are moaning about it, because it's different, but it's good. Really good. So go and see it if you haven't seen it already. But anyway, I'd like to move on and talk and speculate again, because that's what this channel's all about, talking about the future of the vintage collection. And I wanted to talk about a figure that could go onto a Revenge of the Sith cardback. We are absolutely stuffed out with cardbacks for the Return of the Jedi. There's loads more I want to see come back, and more they could potentially release, but at the end of the day, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith are very bare. And I was flicking around on eBay the other day, and I came across a character that I bought in the shops when he was swinging on a peg in the Black Series, and it was Commander Neyo, or Neo, I don't know, is it Neyo? I think it's Neyo, I'd suggest it was Neyo. And I picked this up in an Asda in 2015 because he was released. An Asda, I'm sorry if you're an American, Asda is part of the Walmart family. So that's why you can get a lot of Black Series that are exclusive to the Walmart chain, but that's where he was. Or that's how he was released in that line of the Black Series. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't buy him because I wanted him. I thought, oh, I've got to get him. I just bought him because I thought, well, get him now before, say, in a month or a year, he's going to be a crazy price. So get it while you can. And it's so rare that you see figures swinging on pegs for a decent price. He was about $10.97. But anyway, the figure itself, I was initially impressed with it because of the weathering on it. And I'll tell you something now, I didn't like the helmet of him a while ago when I first bought him, because I prefer, say, to see a Phase 2 helmet or a Phase 1. And I thought, well, that's a weird helmet, you know. It looks more like a snowtrooper. But actually, this whole design has grown on me. When I looked at it again the other day and I got it out of a box, I thought, well, I'll do a review on it. I thought, wow, it's actually a pretty cool looking piece of armour, that. And I really wanted to do a video on him because, as I say, there's a kind of a lack of Revenge of the Sith cards going on. And he's a potential one. Let's look at some commanders that you got. The most clones you could ever get in the vintage collection, or the most variety of clones, can be found in the Revenge of the Sith line. So we've got Oddball, you've got the likes of Gree, and you've got, of course, Commander Cody, and that's about as far as you go. There are other clones available. You can just get the standard clone and the 212, 501st. So it's quite a good line to get if you want to get some characters. 2005 was when the Revenge of the Sith came out, and that was followed then by the Clone Wars animated series, the CGI series, where you were introduced to a whole host of other clones. You know, they're more than just troopers. They've got names and tags, CC5555 fives, of course, and 55 if you want to be Krell. But then there's this guy, you see, and you've got to always question, you know, a figure that has been released in the Black Series soon after the vintage collection disappeared. It makes you think to yourself, well, what was the initial intention for Hasbro and this character? And you've got to certainly consider the fact that maybe he could end up on a vintage card one way or another, because he's a commander, and there's definitely a lack of... Oh, his head's come off completely. There's a lack of... Oh my god. There's a lack of figures in that line. Let's have a look now at him without the helmet, and look at this. He's got that kind of, looks like a barcode. And here's an unprepared moment for this video. I was going to find a picture of him in the Clone Wars, because he doesn't remove his helmet in Revenge of the Sith, and Revenge of the Sith is before the Clone Wars. But I did see a Neyo picture, if you just bear with me. Commander Neyo. And it's obviously from the Clone Wars. and that barcode is visible. Let's see if we can find it here, if you just don't mind where... Ah, here he is, here now. So I don't for a minute suggest that they release him on a Clone Wars vintage cardback, because by what I can see on my research, he was only in 2 episodes, according to Wikipedia. They always tell you the appearances of the characters, and it was literally 2 episodes. But if you think any different, let me know. But look at that. There's the barcode there. Obviously, that barcode that's only visible in the Clone Wars, Hasbro decided to carry over with this figure here. I still think that it should be released on a vintage collection cardback, because I'm going to show you one more image now. I'm going to show you the definitive image, or the iconic image of Neyo, which I was going to show at the beginning of this video, but it doesn't matter. And it's this here. What does that image say to you? Well, it says to me, Jedi Purge. And as does that, you see. I mean, there's no other image really that Hasbro would put on a card. They'd be really daft to not use that image. In fact, if you go on eBay right now, there's a guy in Denmark or somewhere who is selling custom vintage collection cards. I don't think I really want to be buying them, because they'll probably be rubbish when they arrive. They'll probably be really poor quality. But hey, let's pray that Hasbro's watching this, eh? Or somebody can put a little message into them and say, hey, can you please give us some lovely cardbacks like that? Expand the Revenge of the Sith line. It's quite interesting. I'm back on to talking about the future of the vintage collection here. There's been a lot going on at the minute, what with the release of The Last Jedi. But anyway, I shall repeat one more time. What I'd like to see is a Commander Neyo vintage collection cardback. Can you make it happen, Hasbro? That would be very nice if you could. Oh, I'm making all sorts of mistakes now, pressing buttons there. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out. And I've just got to say, I'm sweating buckets here. I've had this Christmas sweater on all day, and it's hot. See you for next time. Bye-bye.